What's in my camera bag? In this video, I break down what's in my camera bag, the camera, lenses, accessories, and the kit I bring along to most shoots. I also break down one of my favorite pieces of gear that I brought that have helped me bring in a little bit more money when I'm shooting. I have a more heavy duty setup that's more of my everyday, wedding camera kit, big production kit. Maybe I'll break that down in a future video, but when it comes to fashion clients or smaller paid work, I prefer the smaller, low pro photo stream. Now, one of the major advantages of this case, other than the durability, would be it has swivel wheels, which makes moving just so much easier. Unfortunately, they discontinued this low pro photo stream case. I would have loved to pick up another one. I'll link in the description some type of alternative that I've been eyeing in order to have another one. But I love the low pro photo stream case. I like the fact that it's soft, it's lightweight, but also durable. And I find that this type of case is perfect for one-man band, smaller productions, and when I'm shooting a lot of my fashion work. For my camera of choice when it comes to video, if you've been watching this channel, you know my main camera is the Canon C70. It's what I'm shooting right now. I love the way this camera feels in my hands. The image quality is amazing, with beautiful Canon colors and dynamic range and internal indies, great audio. Not the sharpest camera, but it feels more filmic, and that's something I'm more into. Also, when you're shooting fashion or smaller projects, I love how small and contained it is. I often shoot with this camera with just a battery, a lens, a couple memory cards, and I'm good to go. Also, most of the behind the scenes that you're looking at on this channel is shot with the Canon C70. And a lot of my A-roll and my B-roll are shot with this camera. I think the Canon C70 is like a cinema camera, but also a perfect one-man band camera. Because it's just easy to use and everything is contained in there, and it just gives you everything you need to shoot pretty much all day. My new purchase for photography and videography is the Canon R5C, which is a cinema camera / photography camera hybrid. I love this camera. 8K sensor, beautiful image, Canon color science. I rarely use 8K, but beautiful downscaled 4K video. Photo-wise, you're talking about 45 megapixel images. The major downside of this camera is the battery life and the lack of stabilization. The camera has decent digital stabilization, kind of similar to the Canon C70. It's like a digital stabilization. Not the best, but I wish there was in-body stabilization in this camera. The Canon R5C's battery issue is a major issue. One of the ways I've combated this was I used the Canon BG-R10 battery grip, which gives me 2 batteries, and this really helps drastically. Canon is calling this a cinema camera, but compared to the C70, it's missing a lot of stuff, and battery life is something that it definitely takes a hit in. It's missing internal NDs. I fixed this with my Mikey MKEF-TRC. It's like an ND filter adapter that goes behind the lens, kind of like the Canon RF adapter, but way cheaper. And that kind of gives me in a kind of comparison to the Canon C70, as far as just like having NDs now, and then having better battery life with the battery grip. The Canon R5C is not for everyone, and I have a feeling Canon's going to come out with like the Canon R5C2 and fix the battery and fix the stabilization. But for me, I love this camera. I love shooting images with this camera, shooting fashion. I love the 45 megapixels. And I love the 8K video when I need it. It's just a beautiful camera, and I am having a great time shooting with the R5C. Now, the main lenses I use for fashion work for the most part. I do like to shoot primes. I do like to shoot extreme telephoto when I can. But a lot of the times, if I'm just grabbing my gear and I know I need to go somewhere and shoot all day, the main lens I use for my fashion and client work is the Sigma 24-70. It's versatile, sharp, it has a constant f2.8 aperture. I find it's more than good enough for my client images. This is a beautiful image quality that's coming out of this lens. It's like the cheaper Canon L series lenses. You know, I feel like they're on par with the same type of lenses, the Canon L series. This is a great lens for shooting different focal lengths. It allows me to get shots while I'm kind of working at a fast pace. And I love this lens so much, I actually ended up buying 2 of them. So now I have 2 24-70s for when I shoot like weddings and I have to have 2 camera bodies, or I give another camera to someone else, another shooter. The next lens I use for those moments is when I'm shooting lingerie or swimwear is the Canon 70-200 RF f4. It's a telephoto lens that has awesome lens compression. I love to use this lens when I need to lean out the body and I have enough light and freedom to move back because it's a 70-200. I don't bring this lens with me all the time, but I find it's very clutch if I'm on a beach, if I'm shooting somewhere where I have a lot of space. And I just love to have this lens with me if, you know, I can and the right conditions are met. I love to have this lens. Now, the bonus gear I like to bring along is some sort of film camera to get some unique looking, creative looking images, shoot a few rolls of film and showcase that to the client. A lot of the times the client will be so excited to see these images that they will end up, you can charge them more, you can charge them for prints, you can do a lot of different things. When it comes to audio, I was using the DJI mics for a while and I really like these mics. I think they're phenomenal mics. They have magnets on them. They both have, you know, inputs where you can put like a lav mic on them and you can actually record on both devices. It has a receiver, so you can have backups. You can have the DJI mic, you know, sending the signal to your camera, recording it there, have backups on both receivers. And I do that a lot for weddings. I really love having these little recorders, these little magnetized recorders. But the only issue I had with the DJI mics was a lot of times when I'm shooting, you know, interviews, or if I'm shooting something really, really fast paced, I don't really have time to set the levels or go back and check the levels and all that stuff. So I upgraded, in my opinion, So I just bought the Rode Wireless Pro kit. I love these mics. I think these mics are phenomenal. And these really solve a lot of the issues I had, which is I need something that I can, you know, push record on, not really worry about it. And the reason for that is now these mics have 32-bit float. The reason why I love 32-bit float is it's kind of like raw audio. Yes, it can still clip, you can still distort, but it takes a lot of, you know, really, really loud sound to get there. And it gives you just a lot of latitude in post and allows you to kind of just like raw video, allows you to push and, you know, mess with the audio and really, really tweak it the way you need to. I love the fact that the Rode Wireless Pro both have mics on the actual devices. And there's also 2 lav mics that it comes with for even better audio quality. And you can record 32-bit float on both of them. You can have a backup, you know, receiver going to your camera. Just a lot of possibilities. And one of the things I really didn't think I'd love about the Rode Wireless Pro was you can also use the receiver and the mic, hook it up USB to your computer, and then use that kind of like an audio interface. So if you're doing like a Zoom meeting, I do a lot of Zoom meetings for my corporate job. If you're doing like a Zoom meeting, you could use the Rode Wireless Pro as like your mic if you need better audio, just with USB-C. There's a lot of different, you know, situations where I can see that being really useful. And I love the whole integration of this kit. M1 MacBook Pro. I know I should probably upgrade soon. I probably will. I'm always buying things, but at the moment, the M1 MacBook Pro, especially for the scaling back of the work I do now. I work corporate. I work at a production company, a corporate production company. I shoot weddings on the weekends. I shoot commercial stuff on the weekends or when I can. I shoot fashion work, but I've scaled back a lot of my own production work, like my own client work, because I work full time. I also am a dad. So my M1 so far has been doing pretty good. I haven't really been pushing my laptop that hard. The only thing I do see it struggle with is like my 8K footage from the Canon R5C. But for the most part, I haven't found the need to really upgrade. But I love my M1 MacBook Pro. A lot of my fashion shoots, I'll use it to tether, my work on Lightroom. And it's my main editing workhorse when I do client work, from photography to video. Now, speaking of tethering, I always make sure I have an SSD with me anywhere I shoot. Even if I'm shooting on something where there's DIT, there are people there that are going to handle the footage. One thing I've always known is just always bring an SSD, always bring a hard drive with you on every shoot. That way, if something happens and, they go, oh, we missed, offloading on this, try to, get your footage, try to get your photos on your SSD. So then when you hand it off to the client, you have a backup, you have your stuff. You don't have to worry about, it getting handed off to this person and that person and this person. And they go, we don't know where it is. Or, oh, one of the hard drives got corrupted. I rent my equipment all the time. And a lot of times I will get my camera back from a production, like my Canon C70. I will rent it out to someone. And then they'll be like, don't delete the memory card. We forgot to offload. So everyone does this. It happens a lot. I would say the best thing you can do is always have an SSD with you or some type of hard drive. Now that's all I have to say about what's in my camera bag, moving forward in 2024. Let me know if you want me to do more in-depth videos like this where I break down what I bring to wedding shoots, what I bring to bigger productions, because it can get out of hand. And when I'm shooting like weddings, I bring like so much equipment. But let me know and I'll definitely do a video on that in the future. And that's all I have to say. If you have any questions about photography or videography, hit me up in the comments below, and I will see you later. Peace. Kylo. Hi. Hey.